Hey everyone, so today we're going to go over the Brummel Spice. Straighten up our logo there. We're going to make an eye using a splice called the Brummel Spice. We use a Brummel because it's a locked loop and you don't have to whip it. And the movement itself can look a little complicated, but once you've practiced it a few times, it's pretty easy. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by taking a berry length. We're going to use this amount of berry and we're going to make a mark there with our handy dandy Sharpie. So we've got a mark, and then I'm going to make an eye, and I'm going to make another mark here. And now we're going to go to work. So if you follow the Brummel, what we're going to do is we're going to basically turn this line inside out twice. So I'm going to grab my fid, I'm going to go to my first mark and pass my fid through, trying to stay even on both sides. It's a brand new piece of rope, so it might be a little feisty at first. To help sometimes loosen up the strands around where you're going to be making your loops. So we've made a loop here, and now what we're actually going to do is roll this inside out, and it's going to make this kind of unique looking knot where it really looks like it's been tortured a bit. Now we're going to take that same, we're going to do that same thing on our second mark. Now we've got our first loop here. We've just passed it through again, our second one, and now we're going to pull this one through and inside out as well. Okay, this is the tricky part, and this is the part that takes practice. Now what we're going to do is, from the tail side, we are going to pull this end up through the inside of our first mark. So you kind of have to really work the rope to undo from the other side, kind of reverse that loop and pull it up through. Okay, so I've kind of unwound that section, and now we've got the other loop, and we're going to pull it through that one we just undid. Ooh, snagged a strand there, that's not good. Okay, so we've just pulled it through, and now what we're going to do is, if we follow this one here, we're going to it winds back up to the loop that we had just pulled back through. So if we go back here really quickly, we've got our tail. This was the first loop we've made. This is the second loop we've made. Now we're going to pull the second loop through. And now what we're going to do is wind this one back out, and that is going to make our eye. Okay, so I know we're going to fast forward through that, but it really just takes patience and practice in order to really get it going quickly. But now we've got this kind of S pattern here. We've got this loop that we've just Houdini'd in there with some loops, and what we're going to do now is pull the lock in place. So as you can see, these are now locked together. So if I pull on this loop, this splice is already very, very, very strong. As I pull out, it just makes that whole hitch tighter. That's why this splice is super powerful. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and taper and pull my berry. The goal with the taper is to bring the thickness down from the full thickness at the spliced end of the line to the thinnest point we can make it at the end of the berry so that we don't have any pinch points in the line. Splicing wire. Got the berry length there. I'm going to go a little past it because it's going to shrink. Just going to pull that on in. I like to keep the joint here really tight, so I pull really hard up on there, and it's going to make this bunch, but we're going to milk that back down. You know, this one looks about right. So we've got this. Now starting from the top, we're going to milk down and just pull that back in there. And there we go. That's a nice Brummel splice. We've got that locked hitch, got a really nice berry and a good taper. So it's a really good Brummel splice.